Marlboro. This is Sports Wrap September 2019. School's back in session, so that means we're back to bring the local high school sports action from AMSA, Assabet Valley, and Marlboro into your living room. For those that don't know me, I'm your host, Matt Bisaccio, and I am jacked up for this school year. We here at WMCT cannot wait to see what the next 10 months of high school sports will bring us. So without further ado, let's get into the highlights. Our first stop on our tour through the city brings us to Marlboro High, where the boys soccer team played earlier this month against Leominster.
Marlboro boys soccer took the pitch at Whitcomb against Leominster, looking to pick up win number 1 in the season. The Panthers would have their chances in the first half. Jordan Falco gets it ahead of the D and lets the left-footed attempt rip, but it's just wide. And later in the half, Joey Van Buskirk has possession and no one within 5 yards of him. He fires it at the keeper, but the Leominster keeper, Franco Barreto, gets a piece and keeps Marlboro off the board. And that would be a problem because the road team would convert on their end. Xavier Bonilla chips it up over 2 Panther defenders to Andrew Sanchez, and Sanchez gets just enough of it to find the back of the net to put the Blue Devils up 1. Then Sanchez again. This time he finds Christian Godino in front for the header, and Leominster, just like that, was up by 2 going into the break. A good crowd came out in support of their classmates, and they would finally get to see their team get on the board early in the second half. Falco has a clearing going towards the net, but he's obstructed, and that would lead to a penalty kick from Van Buskirk. And Joey nails it to bring the Panthers back within 1 at 2-1. But Leominster would counter with 2 more goals, including this gem. The ball bounces around, and then the shot hits off the crossbar, but look at this putback. Sanchez with the bicycle kick. Just an incredible effort from the young man, and he seems to appreciate it as well. Marlboro would net another goal later in the game on this free kick from Matt Francisco, but it wouldn't be enough as the Panthers lose this one 4-2 and drop to 0-5 on the season. They play next against Brockton.
They'd lose to Brockton, but bounce back, winning their next 2 contests against North Middlesex and South behind the hat trick and another 2-goal performance from Joey Van Buskirk. The 2 7-1 Panthers are on the outside looking in for a playoff spot, but in the words of the great Kevin Garnett, anything is possible. So check back next month to see where they stand. Now let's check in on the Panthers girls soccer team. After dropping their first game of the season against Shepherd Hill, the Lady Panthers played the Chieftains of Neshoba.
After a loss to Shepherd Hill last week, the Panthers took to the pitch, looking to pick up their first one of the season against Midwalk-B foe Neshoba. Early on, Marlboro keeper Leanne Wydham controlled the traffic in front. Here, she goes diving to the ground to gain possession, and a few minutes later on the corner kick, Leanne skies over everyone to call the threat. The Panthers weren't able to manufacture many scoring chances in the first half. On this one, Tesla Duke gets the bleed pass from Mia Chrysophides. She has some room in front, but she can't quite turn the corner, and it's an easy save for Neshoba keeper Julia Cote. Eventually, at the 30-minute mark, the Chieftains break the scoreless tie. Morgan Diefenbach gets it ahead to Abby McNulty. McNulty, between 2 defenders, gathers herself and blasts the shot past the diving Wydham to give the road team a 1-0 lead heading into intermission. Marlboro's defense wasn't able to get off to a great start in the second half. McNulty this time has it out ahead of the pack. She does a great job drawing the attention of the D, and then finds her teammate Julia Sidopoulos all alone for the wide-open score. 3.5 minutes into the second half, Neshoba had a 2-goal advantage. But the Panthers wouldn't quit. Here, LeDuc works the ball back towards the middle and rips this shot that goes just wide of the net. LeDuc, however, would help to create a scoring chance just a few minutes later, where she finds Lindsay Lefebvre. Lefebvre chases it down and puts the ball in front of the net, and it's Alicia Beebe who's there to score the Panthers' first goal of the year. Then, with just a few minutes left, Marlboro has a chance at the equalizer. Lefebvre passes it ahead to Kayla Cook. Cook winds up, fires, but it's just wide, and Neshoba holds on to the 2-1 victory. Marlboro drops to 0-2 on the year.
After the loss, Marlboro would go on to struggle for the rest of the month. After a trip to the district semifinal last year, this may end up being a rebuilding year for Coach Kramer Kiley in her club. Now let's head over to the field house to check in on the Panther volleyball squad. Here's their highlights from their matchup against Neshoba.
The 2-2 Panthers took the floor at the field house against the Chieftains in Neshoba, who hadn't dropped a set in their last 2 matches. We'll pick up the action a set apiece going into the 3rd set with Neshoba already up 8-2. When number 18 for Neshoba gets this one to drop over Sheila Sasovi to put the road team up 9-2. Marlboro would call a timeout and respond. Here, Jennifer Maciel gets those hands up and makes the play at the net. Later in the set, Jessica Popajak sets it for Josie Olette, and Josie finds a soft spot to put the Panthers up 23-21. Then, with set point, Marlboro lets this fall out, and the Panthers would take a 2-1 lead. The Chieftains controlled play, though, in the fourth set, taking it 25-16, and we go to a fifth and deciding set. There, Marlboro would take a 4-2 lead, and then later, down 1, this shot is too long, and the Panthers would tie the set at 8. But then Neshoba would close the game out, winning the next 7 points to take the fifth set, and they would win this one 3-2. Marlboro drops to 2-3 on the year.
After a 2-2 start to the season, the Lady Panthers have really struggled to end the month, winning just 1 set over the course of 4 matches. A playoff berth doesn't seem to be in the cards this year, but good luck the rest of the way. Now to cap off our stop at Marlboro High, we'll head over to Kelleher Field, where the Panther football team kicked off their season against Groton Dunstable.
Marlboro High hosted the Crusaders of Groton Dunstable at Kelleher Field to begin the 2019 season. After a Panther punt on their first possession, Bradley Tiedites and the Crusader offense hit the ground running. Here on second down, Tiedites takes the shotgun snap and tosses it deep down the left sideline to the wide open receiver, setting up a 1st and goal inside the 5. A couple of plays later, Tiedites finishes off the drive with the keeper. The 4-yard touchdown run gives Groton an early 7-0 lead. Coach Mahoney couldn't have been pleased with the D there, but I'm sure he was pleased with this next play. Junior Edwin Cardona fields the ensuing kickoff at the 12-yard line. Waits for the blocks to develop in front of him, then he turns on the jets, and he is gone. Edwin Cardona takes it 88 yards to the house for 6. Now, usually extra points don't make the highlights, but this is senior Lucy Capadonna, who's the team's place kicker this year, and it's good. Lucy would hit both of her PATs on the day. The Crusaders would come right back and respond, however. Tiedites again takes it himself with room in front. The Crusader quarterback gets to the sideline and gains 50 yards on the play. He would get his leg caught underneath Jarman, who would make the tackle, but Tiedites would be okay. A few plays later, Tiedites hands it off to Tim Stark on the sweep play, and Stark finds the end zone to put the road team up 14-7 in the middle of the first quarter. The next Panther drive didn't last very long. Quarterback Jason Short rolls to his left, trying to extend the play, but his pass intended for Cardona sails high and it's picked off by Tim Stark. Stark sheds a tackle and works his way down the left sideline before being pushed out at the 18. Still the same possession now on 4th down. Tiedites drops back and hits Jack Berry on the slant route for the 15-yard touchdown, and it started to feel like this one might get away from Marlboro with the score 21-7, and we're still in the first quarter. But the Panther offense would find a rhythm on their next drive. Junior J.J. Jarman picks up first downs on these 2 carries to break into Crusader territory. Then later on 3rd down, Short rolls out of the pocket again. This time he finds a wide open Tyler Whitmore down the field for a 42-yard gain to set up 1st and goal. And then it's Jarman who will cap off the drive here with a 2-yard touchdown score to make this a 7-point game at the end of the wildly entertaining first quarter. Things would slow down after that, though. With the same score late in the second quarter, the Panthers have the ball inside the 10. On 4th down, Short evades the sack and tries to lunge for the line to gain. They would have to measure it. It's close, but they're just short, and Marlboro would have to settle being down 7 heading into the locker room. The second half was a continuation of the second quarter with missed opportunities and no points added to the scoreboard. In the third quarter, the Panthers have the ball again deep in Crusader territory. Again, it was 4th down, and again, they weren't able to convert. Short sees Cardona in the end zone, but Tim Stark is there to break it up. And then late in the fourth quarter on Marlboro's final possession, the Panthers can't convert on this 4th and 4. Jarman is stuffed behind the line, and that would do it. Marlboro drops its home opener, losing 21-14. They play again next week at home against Neshoba.
After the opening night loss, Marlboro dropped its next 2 against Neshoba and St. John's and are now 0-3 to begin the year. Coach Mahoney and his team are going to have to turn things around quickly if they want to have any chance of making the district playoffs. Now that's it for Marlboro Athletics. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to head over to 4 Kicks to check in on AMSA. Don't go anywhere.
I play to be a role model in my neighborhood.
I play to be part of the team.
I play to be stronger than my brothers.
I play to channel my energy in a positive way.
I play because the field is where I shine.
I play to win. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl.
My hair.
Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl.
Aw.
So do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, yeah, insulted girls, but not my sister.
My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
A concussion is a traumatic brain injury that affects how your brain works. Know the warning signs. Concussions don't just happen from landing on the ground. They can also happen from jarring contact with another person, like a base, top, or back spot. If you or one of your teammates has the symptoms of a concussion, tell your coach immediately. If symptoms show up after practice or a game, tell your parents. Cheering with a concussion is dangerous and can lead to a longer recovery time. A medical professional can diagnose a concussion and give you a timetable for how much rest you need. A second head injury while you have a concussion can be devastating, even life-threatening. So make sure you're fully recovered before returning. The sooner you see a doctor about a possible concussion, the sooner you can get on the path to recovery. For more information, visit cheersafe.org/concussions.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us here on Sports Wrap. Stop number 2 on our tour through the city takes us to AMSA Charter, where we find our very own Connor Clement, who's going to captain the ship for the next few highlights. Connor, take it away.
Yeah, Matt, I'm here at Four Kicks, the home of the AMSA Eagles boys soccer squad. They've been busy here over the past couple weeks, taking on Keefe Tech and Maynard. They took on Keefe Tech on September 13th here, looking for their second win of the season. Here's how that one went down. The Broncos of Keefe Tech visiting the AMSA Eagles, looking for their first win of the year, while AMSA's seeking their second. Early in this one, Keefe Tech puts a drive on Eagles goalkeeper Andrew Cash, who makes a nice save, but a juicy rebound allows Broncos striker Brian DeLima to battle for it in front, eventually putting it off of AMSA's Brendan Labar for the score. DeLima was big for the Broncos in this one. Here he dribbles past the AMSA defenders and pushes it just wide left into the net past the outstretched Cash for his second goal of the match. Francois St. Cyr had a huge chance to cut the deficit to 1 with a penalty kick here, but Bruce Hallen makes the stop, and again, off the rebound, David Badaro had the chance, but Hallen stops that one as well. In the second half, AMSA is pressing, and a lob pass into the box beautifully sets up Jack Johnson for the redirect, and AMSA's on the board down 2-1. Johnson says, "I think I'll keep that ball." Down 2-1 late, AMSA was firing everything at Keefe Tech. Here on the lob pass, Johnson again finds himself in front of the keeper, corrals the ball, and spin kicks the equalizer just wide right. AMSA had a few last chances to tie, but none better than this. Sam Costa had the open angle on goal, but his shot is kicked up right into Hallen's hands for the save. Keefe Tech would hold on to win 2-1, improving to 1-2 on the season, while AMSA drops to 1-3. After a close loss to Keefe Tech, the Eagles dropped to 1-3 on the season. The following week, they played against Maynard here at Four Kicks. They fell in a close match 1-0, which put them at 3-4-2 on the season, in third place in the Colonial Large Division. Now moving on to another sport at AMSA, the girls volleyball team remained undefeated early on in September through their season. They hadn't lost a single set moving into the Abby Kelly matchup. Here's how that game went down.
The Eagles came into this one 8-0 on the year, and they looked to remain perfect as they took the court against Abby Kelly. The first set was a struggle for AMSA. They weren't sharp, and because of that, the Bears hung around all set, and at one point even led 18-17. But the home team would settle down and eventually take the set 25-22. The second set started out like the first. The Eagles would start slow and find themselves down 7-4. But again, they'd right the ship, behind strong play at the net from Elizabeth Powell. AMSA would go on to take the second set 25-10 and take a 2-0 lead. And the third set also belongs to the Eagles as they take it 25-11 and defeat Abby Kelly 3-0. AMSA stays unbeaten at 9-0.
So the AMSA girls volleyball squad stays undefeated in the month of September, defeating Abby Kelly 3-0. Now we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, be sure to stick around because Matt is taking you over to Assabet Valley to show you what's cooking over there.
I think everyone walks around with something that you can't see.
We all go through it. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are, man.
The best thing that I did was to come out and say, hey, look, I need some help.
Never be ashamed of wanting to be a better you, period.
I touched it. I touched the ball before it went out, Coach.
Come on, Alex. The ref did not call that.
You gotta be kidding me, Alex.
It's the championship game.
Talk to him, Coach. I touched it. It's their ball.
Don't foul them when they inbound. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go on, Alex.
Sorry, Coach.
Alex. Good call.
Sportsmanship. Pass it on.
Red.
I obviously have a stutter. It's no secret, and I went through the ups and the downs of being made fun of, from my words getting said back to me or getting called Stuttering Stanley, all that stuff. I leaned on my mom and dad as a kid. They helped me through a lot. I thought back to how far I've come since high school, when I didn't like to talk, I didn't like to speak in public unless I was on a playing field. Baseball allowed me to go out and not think about having to speak in public and not think about the social anxiety aspect of it, to be who I was and be who I wanted to be, and I'm out of my shell. I want kids to go to be themselves and to enjoy their lives. Being who you want to be and being who you are is the most important thing in this world. Don't let anybody stop you from that.
MLB, ESPN, and X Games are teaming up to shred hate. Learn more at shredhate.org.
Welcome back to this September 2019 edition of Sports Wrap. Our last stop through the city of Marlboro brings us to Aztec Stadium over at Assabet Valley. First, let's see how the boys soccer team fared in their matchup against Blackstone Valley Tech.
AV boys soccer took the pitch against Blackstone Valley Tech, looking to give the Beavers their first loss of 2019. Just minutes in, BVT is on the attack when this shot from Ben Tufts goes just over the crossbar. But the Beavers wouldn't have to wait much longer for their first score. In the 8th minute, Tufts makes the entry pass to Mike Fresh. But Fresh lets it go by him, which sets it up perfectly for Luke Morrison, who comes flying into the picture, and he rips the left-footed shot past Assabet keeper Fernando Rivera to put BVT up 1-0. Assabet would hang around here in the first half and eventually break through in the 29th minute when Jaime Da Silva places this corner kick nicely in front, and Brian Arias heads it in, tying the match at 1, which is where this one would stay until the end of the half. The second half for the Aztecs would be a difficult one. They would struggle to possess the ball for long stretches, and when they were able to get anything going in their scoring zone, they weren't able to materialize it into a scoring chance. The Beavers, on the other hand, dominated time of possession and shots. Here, Nick Kirby gains control and chips it into the penalty area, where it deflects off an Aztec defender right to Ian Cartier, and he blasts it in to give Blackstone Valley a 1-goal lead. And later in the half, the Beavers put the finishing touch on this one when Morrison takes the corner and causes some traffic in front. Eventually, it's Fresh who puts it in, and that's our final. BVT stays unbeaten, defeating the Aztecs 3-1. AV plays next at AMSA.
Despite the loss, AV finds themselves atop the Colonial small standings with a 5-4-2 record. And as long as they can finish the season strong, the Aztecs should be able to secure a spot in next month's Central Mass playoffs. Next, we have the girls soccer team, who started the year 2-2 going into their game against Abby Kelly.
2-2 Assabet looked to bounce back after a 6-1 loss at Maynard against winless Abby Kelly. The Aztecs wasted no time imposing their will on their opponent. Just 30 seconds in, number 18 breezes through the D, winds up, and blasts this past the keeper to put AV up 1-0. The fans in attendance wouldn't have to wait long to see another goal. Here, number 4 loses the ball momentarily, but she regains it, and before the defender can step up, she fires and buried the left-footed shot into the far corner of the goal to give Assabet a 2-goal advantage. There wasn't much to do for the Aztec keeper on this day. The D didn't allow the ball anywhere near her. On the other side, the offense kept up the pressure. Number 15 makes a nice pass through 4 defenders to number 18. Number 18 has plenty of time to gather herself, aim, and nail this goal from 15 yards out. Assabet cruises past Abby Kelly, 9-0, and improves to 3-2 on the year. They play next at home against Valley Tech.
Even with the win, it's been an up and down year for the Lady Aztecs. They'd go on to lose 2 in a row before winning 2 in a row to close out the month with a 500 record. I think they're going to have to play a lot better than that, though, to ensure a playoff spot next month. Next, we have the field hockey team, where AV and AMSA are joining forces this season as they're co-oping the program. Here's their highlights from their game earlier this month against Murdoch.
4-2-1, Assabet Valley hosted the winless Blue Devils of Murdoch High at Aztec Stadium as they look to improve their positioning among the better teams in Central Mass. And they'd start fast. Less than 4 minutes in, Paula Pelican works it inside the shooting circle. A Blue Devil tries to step up, but it's too late, and Pelican gives AV a very early 1-0 advantage. Assabet's offense couldn't muster much else the rest of the half, but their defense made sure that wasn't an issue. Here, Murdoch has a penalty corner, but check out the speed from number 2, Elise Temple. She chases down the ball and hits it away. Then it's Haley Baez who knocks it back into Blue Devil territory. And again, Temple getting her stick down and making the play to stop the opposition. AV keeper Audrey Nader had herself an easy day as the home team took their 1-0 lead into the half. The second half for Murdoch wouldn't get any better as their offense couldn't get off the ground. But the Aztecs, on the other hand, got better as the game wore on. On this play, Chloe Kobus dribbles it in deep and makes a centering pass, and Sephora Mejia puts it in to put Assabet up 2. And later in the half, Kelsey True takes it all by herself and finds the back of the net, extending the lead to 3, and that would be our final. Aztecs top Murdoch 3-0 and earn their 5th win of the season.
AV currently has a 6-3-1 record on the year, but they are only 2-3-1 against their division opponents, so that'll have to improve in order to earn a decent seed in the districts. And to close out the show, we have the Aztec football program. They were knocked out in last year's district semifinal against BVT, so this year's team is focused on getting back to and advancing to the championship game. The season got off to a good start as they scraped by with a 28-26 double overtime win at Maynard. Here's their second game of the year against St. Bernard's.
Assabet took the field against St. Bernard's looking for a 2-0 start to 2019 after winning in overtime at Maynard last week. On AV's first possession of the game, senior running back Mateo Ciccone takes the handoff and follows his blocker downfield, and there's room in front. Ciccone takes it 40 yards down inside the 20. Then, a few plays later on third down, last week's star junior Justin Giusti gets the ball in the sweep play. He works his way to the pylon, and the Aztecs took a quick 7-0 lead. St. Bernard's next drive ended with this punt attempt, emphasis on attempt. 3 Aztecs close in on the punter, and number 88, Brett Drayton, says, "Get that out of here." He swats it way back, and it's Ciccone there to field it, giving AV great starting field position. And 3 plays later, it's junior quarterback Connor Sherling who drives forward for the 1-yard touchdown, and the home team was feeling good, up 14-0 with 3:20 to go in the first quarter. Just when you thought AV might run away with it, St. Bernard's responds on their next drive. On this play, they're facing 4th and 5 when Tyler Thibodeau takes it right through the middle of the Aztec D and rumbles 45 yards to the house to put the road team on the board. At a 2-point conversion, it was 14-8 after a quarter of play. Now let's move ahead with the same score and just 4 seconds left in the half. Quarterback Dominic Cuevas fakes the handoff and rolls out of the pocket. He tries to let the block develop in front, but Jake Taylor makes an outstanding play to stop Cuevas just shy of the end zone, and that keeps St. Bernard's from scoring right before the half, maintaining their 14-8 lead heading into halftime. A scoreless second quarter would be followed by a score on the very first play of the third quarter. Ciccone fields the kick at the 5-yard line, and he attacks the middle of the kickoff coverage like he's shot out of the cannon. He beats the initial wave and makes his way to the sideline. He has one man to beat, and Giusti makes the block that sets him free. Mateo Ciccone takes it 95 yards to the score that puts AV up 20-8 just seconds into the half. What a day for number 3. St. Bernard's hung tough for a while as they would come right back and score on their end. Nico Mancini caps off the drive for the Bernardians to pull his club within a score at 20-14. But it was just too much AV. Connor Sherling would complete 4 passes on this drive, including this 13-yard dime rolling to his left to Jacob Nelson to put the home team up 2 scores. And then it's freshman Cole Nelson, who puts this one away for good. He blasts through the line and then turns on the Jets. Nelson goes 52 yards for the touchdown to make it 34-14, and that would be the final. AV goes to 2-0 in the year. They play next at Monty Tech.
And after that win, they would travel to and shut out Monty Tech 37-0 behind another strong effort from Connor Sherling in the Aztec offense. This team is primed for a great season, but the biggest test lies ahead on November 1st when AV gets a crack at BVT. That should be a good one. Well, that's going to do it for this month's show. To keep up with our coverage during the month, make sure you follow us on Twitter at WMCT Sports for score updates and highlights. If you're not on Twitter, you can follow us on our Facebook page at WMCT-TV. Well, the first month is in the books. Thank you for watching. For WMCT Sports, I'm Matt Bisaccio, and this is Sports Wrap. We'll see you next time.